Welcome to Own Your Words. Clearly. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Clearly. Clearly. It is an adverb. Meaning. 1. In a way that is easy to see, hear, read, or understand. 2. Things that are done clearly can be easily understood. 3. In a clear, distinct, or obvious manner. Examples. 1. What he clearly thinks hard about is how he comes across in his performance. 2. He was clearly uncomfortable with any of the existing vocabulary at his disposal. 3. It was clearly a case of workers trying to use union muscle to hold off reality. 4. It is for this reason that technical terms be clearly defined in this section of the proposal. 5. She was clearly disappointed by our breakup, but then bounced back superbly. 6. Clearly, then, the second sense of metabolism is not the biologist's concept of it. 7. Maybe the light in the bathroom just wasn't strong enough for me to see clearly. 8. Then the voice grew cunning and said, "If you remember so clearly, tell me why you are here." 9. When it stood again, I could see it much more clearly, a teenage guy in Greek armor. 10. The images thrilled her, for she saw them so clearly in her parents' eyes. 11. The electric lamps from outside cast enough light that I can see her clearly. 12. What was the pattern of deception, and how clearly it was documented. Closely. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Closely. Closely. It is an adverb. Meaning. 1. In a way that is directly connected, or has a strong relationship. 2. In a close relation or position in time or space. 3. Carefully and paying attention to details. 4. Without a big difference between two people, groups, or things. 5. Near in position, time, or condition. Examples. 1. We watched her closely to make sure her fever did not go up again. 2. Both politicians have been closely associated with the movement for some time. 3. The successful applicant will be working closely with our international staff. 4. When the town was closely invested, Marquez decided to seek favorable terms for himself. 5. These two issues are closely linked, and it makes sense to consider them together. 6. He watched her closely for a long time, but there was no further flicker of consciousness. 7. I watched closely the Brits, and other successful men and women in this business. 8. This is followed closely by discounted admission to racecourses and greyhound tracks. 9. He became convinced that it was safest to adhere closely to the letter of Scripture. 10. His blue eyes were genial and closely set, with one magnified by a golden monocle. 11. Gone. It's the first day of the holidays, remember? Said Ron, watching Harry closely. 12. She looked closely at Tiller's smooth skin, that tall, straight back, that engaging grin. Completely. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Completely. Completely. It is an adverb. Meaning. 1. In every way or as much as possible. 2. To the greatest degree possible. 3. To a complete degree, or to the full or entire extent. 4. Use completely to describe something that is totally and utterly. A completely ridiculous idea is absolutely crazy and stupid. Examples. 1. It amazed her now how completely love could abrade those sharp edges. 2. The sailor continued on, completely unaware that one in our group had departed. 3. Its principle was completely understood, and was opposed with equal zeal and ability. 4. Within the shaded region, targets are completely detected and localized by the sensor. 5. Perhaps the most radical element of the film is, that it completely eschews commentary. 6. The separation was not observed in tissues, that were prepared completely without water. 7. Every dawn brings with it the corresponding opportunity, to begin a completely new life. 8. Parents must be completely aware of the kind of friends, or company their children keep. 9. Uncle Jet grumbled from the opposite end of the hogan, covered completely in blackness. 10. As long as I keep my left arm clamped against my side, the paper is completely hidden. 11. I never met a person with a magnetism that hit you so fast, and so completely, she said later. 12. Brianna, would you rather be completely alone for the rest of your life, or marry a guy? Constantly. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Constantly. Constantly. It is an adverb. Meaning. 1. When something happens constantly, it never stops or changes. 2. Without variation, deviation, or change. 3. Without variation or change, in every case. Examples. 1. The view across the valley presented, a constantly changing panorama. 2. Val doesn't let him get a lick of rest, and is constantly bugging him to play with her. 3. Kevin and I were a mess, constantly daring each other to do the craziest things. 4. He looked around constantly, watching the guards yet keeping his head down. 5. Down the hall, the living room was lit up, constantly with brilliant flashes of lightning. 6. Sales reps need to be outgoing because, they are constantly meeting customers. 7. The world outside his temporary home was constantly changing, here, he was almost at ease. 8. Fingers and thumbs were struck constantly, and after a few hours, I was the first to fall. 9. They occupy a 1 square mile constantly shrouded by, a heavy blanket of smog. 10. Next came to an elderly couple constantly convinced, they were missing something. 11. As I am constantly telling the Daily Prophet, Mr. Crouch is taking a well-deserved break. 12. Many of my students say they live in fear, and are constantly looking over their shoulders. Currently. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Currently. Currently. It is an adverb. Meaning. 1. Currently means now. You're currently reading the meaning of the word currently. 2. At the present time, now. Examples. 1. I didn't tell him my currently expected period was, now pretty well past hope. 2. As currently conceived graduated tests serve both formative, and summative functions. 3. And, before you ask, we don't know what cases he was currently investigating. 4. The deal will also absolve her of, some $25 million in debts the estate currently owes. 5. Surface water abstraction currently accounts for, up to 50% of the water put into supply. 6. He currently has no contact with deaf adults, and signs in Zanzibar is not well developed. 7. I am currently drinking some rather revolting protein drinks, twice a day to help build me up. 8. Waiting times for an outpatient, rheumatology appointment are currently. 9. I sing alto in a local choral society, where we are currently learning Mozart's Requiem. 10. The answer was that she was fine, and currently asleep, and no, he couldn't see her. 11. 3 of the 7 areas were on the land masses, that are currently called the Americas. 12. With the investigation being classified, the most I can say is we're currently out of leads.
If you like the video, please hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for more videos.